Alright, today I'm going to be placing a float for the pump in the RO tank. First thing I'm going to do is shut off the system. That way there's no power going to it. And I'm going to shut off anything that might try to draw water out of the system. So the float is just on the other side of here and the water level is low. If it wasn't low, I would have to open up that valve and drain the water out. Now the only thing that's keeping the water from running into here and draining into the conduit and soaking all the wires is a gland that's on this side. And in order for that gland to make a good seal, the wire has to be the same size as the wire that we're currently using. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be close. There's a gland right here. I just have to twist that off and then I can pull out that float. There is going to be another little piece in there. I want to make sure I don't drop that, because if I drop that inside the tank, that's going to be really almost impossible to get out. I'm going to pull this cover. And we got the wires right here. There's not a lot of room in here. These are mostly just meant for stringing wire in. It's not really meant for connecting wires, but that's what we got, so that's what we're using. And it doesn't really matter which side is which. It's just making a connection to string it all the way through, so you don't have to worry about positive or negative. So it looks like they connected the ground and the black into the same connector. Put this on here for now. Okay. Alright, so now I can pull this thing out. So at this point, you're not going to be able to see a lot, but neither am I. I'm going to be stuffing my hand in here and there's not going to be a lot to see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of tape on here to mark how much wire is pulled out. So that's going to determine when the float turns on and turns off. And these are the best tools for this. This is a 7-inch Knipex water pump pliers. I'm going to use that to spin off that nut for that gland. And again, most important thing here is do not drop anything. All right, so I'm just grabbing this guy and I'm spinning this off. And that'll come forward. You can see I got the tape marked right here. Once I got that, this wire should just pull right out. And that's the important gasket that we want to make sure that we do not lose. So this is the one I pulled out, and you can see I got the distance marked on it. And this one is reversible, so it can be normally closed or normally open. What I mean by normally open or normally closed, if I hold it like this is the normal position. So right now this one is normally open. So you can see the multimeter is not reading anything. If I lift it up so the ball drops, it closes. So this one is normally open. That's not going to work because when it closes, that's going to turn the pump on and it's going to try to fill up the tank. So it's going to fill the tank after the tank is full, meaning it's going to overflow the tank. They've got ones that are also normally closed, and I got one of those ordered, but I also have this, and this is reversible. What that means is that depending on the wires that you choose, and I already cut this one off because I know this is the one I'm not going to be using, if I connect these two wires together, it'll be normally closed. If I connect the brown, I believe the black together, then it will be normally open. So this is a good choice if you're not sure which type you need. About the right length. Might have to adjust it because the ball in here might drop at a different angle, so we'll see. All right, now I'm just working inside this little area. So there's all these little flaps around here, and it just has to fit inside there. Press it up tight and then put that nut on. And now I'm going to tighten it up. I already know I don't need the brown. So right now the water level is low enough that I should turn this on and it should kick on after this thing resets. So it did kick on. This means that it's filling. Auto bypass alarm, that's going to happen. Reset. Okay, so we are running. Now I'm going to go over there and I'm going to grab the float and I'm going to lift it up. So that should stop. So we are working right. So the only thing we got to worry about now is that when this water level rises, when it gets up to here, that it doesn't start leaking through here into that conduit. So we got no leaks right now. You can see where the water level's at. So we're okay here. I want to make sure it goes all the way up to full because there will be a higher pressure when it's full. And we'll check it again. So I was noticing that I was getting some drips and I tried to tighten it up, but it wasn't doing anything. And so I took it all apart and I found that one of those little plastic black flaps that goes over the gland seal had managed to get on top of the gland seal, and then I tightened it down so it was leaking around that. So I pulled that out and I rubbed a little moly coat around it to help it seal and put it all back together, and now the drip is gone. All right, we should be getting to a point where it should stop. We don't want the water level to go above this, so then it'll start draining. And if it does go too high, all we have to do is we have to loosen up that gland and pull the cord a little bit so that it'll raise at a faster rate. All right, that's good. Let's see how close we are to the old fill line. All right, so that's the water level. That's the old fill line. So it says new because that was the line that it went to after they replaced the float. But yeah, we're almost in exactly the same spot, maybe 2 millimeters higher. So we're set. I don't see any water dripping, so I'm probably just going to leave this for maybe an hour and come back and make sure that it doesn't develop anything, and then I'll seal it back up. Okay, let's go ahead and get this all stuffed back in. I'm going to get a bend and then a bend. About like that. We want to make sure that we do not pinch any wire. It don't have to be super tight. Just tighten up. And that's it.